Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss my magic morning journal process. I'm going to show you what a magic morning is, why it's so beneficial, and how I do it and how I set that journal up. And I really hope that through this video, it will inspire you to take these things you learned today and help transform your life. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. What's a magic morning journal? So it's basically a journaling process that I created that helps to document and helps me to reflect on my journey through personal transformation and manifesting the life of my dreams. So before I can actually get into that process with you, of creating the journal, I need to help you understand what an actual magic morning is, the steps that you actually take to do one. So it's really not a new concept. If you do any kind of research, you can see that throughout history, the greatest manifestors of our time have been doing a morning ritual, morning routine, sort of thing to set them up to be able to create and manifest the life of their dreams. Some of the very cool people who have done this before are, you may have heard of Tony Robbins, a very cool guy. His thing was called the Hour of Power. Another great is Hal Elrod. He wrote a book called The Miracle Morning, which is a very detailed chronicle on how to do a miracle morning process. I love that book. I got so much inspiration from it, and I will link it down below. But there are so many more. And really, the thing that all these great manifestors knew, they knew one thing, and that was to have an extraordinary life. It didn't just happen. It just didn't fall out of nowhere. That it was something that started within, and then they saw created outside themselves. And everybody wants an extraordinary life. I do, you do, and it's not just going to magically appear for you. So this process is a way to set up a routine for yourself to take the steps to make you the person who can live that extraordinary life. So we're going to examine that process and how you can set one up for yourself to get the life of your dreams and everything that you want. I've been doing this process now for a little over 2 years, and I can tell you that it has transformed my life in so many ways that are actually beyond words or understanding. Before I did this, I always saw myself as a person who really wanted to do all these things. Like, I wanted to do yoga, and I wanted to meditate and visualize and read all these books and really work on who I was as a person. But at the end of the day, I'd be like, how am I supposed to fit this in? Like, I don't have the time to do this. How does anybody do this? And I would always feel bad and defeated, like, I'm just not that cool of a person. These people have more willpower than me. And what I found through this process is it's absolutely not true, because today I can tell you that I am a person who does yoga, meditates, reads, plans, organizes, sets goals every day, and that it doesn't take up all of my day, and actually it's the best part of my day. And that's what I want to share with you, and then get into how I actually create that journal process. So I also want to just take a second and be kind of frank with you right now. The number one thing people always say when you tell them they're going to build a routine or something, set up a time block for themselves is, I don't have the time. And I got to get real and say, all we have is time. That's literally all we have. And you alone are the only person who can decide what you do with that time. So you can decide now that you just want to go on living the same day over and over again, or letting life carry you. And that's okay. No judgment. Or you can decide right now that you want to take your life into your hands and manifest everything that you've always dreamed of and feel that fulfilled feeling and just live that level 10 life and be that level 10 person, because it's totally possible. And for me, I found it through this process and this practice, because it is a practice. Like, I am not where I want to be, and I never will, because to me this is all a journey and a practice. And again, it has become literally the most beautiful, blissful part of my day, and has helped me achieve things that I didn't even know were possible for myself, that I could have never really imagined. And each day, it just grows more and more. So let's begin the next section here, and we're going to talk about how to set one up for yourself. So I'm glad you decided to stick with me. Let's continue our video, and in this section we're going to talk about how to put together a morning routine, or like the way I like to call it, magic morning for yourself. And I'm going to kind of go over with you my process for my morning, but I want you to know that you can change this to whatever way suits you. I'm a big believer in that what feels right is what you should do. And so you might want to elaborate on certain parts might not speak to you and you might want to take them out, or you might have an idea of something that I don't do that you really want to do. So the thing here when you're building a routine for yourself is to think about what you feel like is going to benefit you the most. So I'm going to take you through mine. Number one, we need to get clear about when you want to do it and how long you want to spend doing it. So we'll build all the blocks, but before you can do that, you need to know, when are you going to do this? I like to do mine in the morning. Why the morning? Because if you told me when I got done a long day of work that I had to do all these things, I have zero willpower. I'm just going to be like, no, I'm not doing it. But in the morning, I feel like, it's quiet. I get up really early. There's nothing going on, and I have that sense of peace. And it sets me up to have an incredible day. That's also the really big benefit. And I feel like it doesn't take willpower like it does at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I can come up with 800 excuses. But if you're a night person and night works for you, do it at night. I mean, I just like to do it in the morning, and think that there's a lot of benefit to that. But you use whatever time of day works for you. There are no rules here, so use what time of day works for you. But you've got to get clear about what that is, what time of day that is, and really set that aside for yourself, and how much time. And so for me, I do about an hour and a half, but again, you don't have to do that. If you have 10 minutes, I'm telling you can do this in 10 minutes. And you might say, well, 10 minutes, what's that going to get me? I can tell you right now that in 10 minutes, if you meditated for 3 minutes a day, you're going to have meditated over 1,000 minutes by the end of the year. And that's still 1,000 minutes than you meditated the year before. You want to read books and you can only read 2 pages a day, you're still at the end of the year going to have read a couple books. Where the previous year you just talked about how you wanted to read books. You want to exercise, you only got 5 minutes. I'll tell you what, at the end of the year, you're still going to exercise and be in better shape than the year before when you didn't do anything. So every little bit counts because it's like a compound effect. So you can do it in small bits. When I started, I did about 15 minutes. My whole routine was like 15 minutes. So I do like a couple like push-ups, and then I do a few minutes of meditating, and then it just grew because I saw the effect it was having on my life. And I was like, I just need more of this. I need to explore this more. And so mine became like an hour and a half, but you choose what time works for you. If you're really crunched, make a smaller one. And actually, I actually have a short schedule too, because there are days when there's just stuff going on and I can't do the whole hour and a half. So I actually have 2 schedules for myself. I have my regular routine, and then I have a quick routine, like if I'm not at home or I'm on the road, or stuff's going on and I just have very limited time to do stuff, I'll do a quick one. So you've got that. You've got what time you're going to do it and for how long. Now, let's talk about what you're actually going to do. So I'm going to go through with you what I do. So the first thing that I do when I wake up is exercise. And for me, that's yoga. You can do any kind of exercise you want. I recommend that if you're going to be adding exercise to your routine, that you do it first, only because it really wakes you up and gets you energized, and it keeps you from falling asleep during the meditation portion. Because that can happen. Like, if you get out of bed and meditate, you may just fall back asleep. So it kind of gets things moving. And for me, it's yoga. I love yoga. I feel like there's no other exercise that has better benefits to it. I not only get strong and healthy, I keep flexibility and mobility, but also it helps me with that breath work and working on my internal self. So yoga for me, number one. And there's a million ways you can do a yoga routine. For me, I hop on YouTube, I do my yoga with Adrienne, and I absolutely love her. I think she is like so cool. But there's a million things on YouTube that you could do. I mean, there's a million programs out there. So no excuses, find a workout program. Like I said, if you can just do 10 push-ups a day, that's all you have time for. Think of that full body exercise, and at the end of the year, how much stronger you're going to be, even though you only did 10 push-ups a day. So pick an exercise. Maybe it's just 10 jumping jacks to warm yourself up. Maybe you like to go for a run in the morning. Maybe that sets your mind right. Whatever works for you. So exercise, number one, set that part up. Decide how long you're going to do it. Number two, I hope none of you skip. To me, this is like seriously the most important part of my morning is the meditation portion. I'm not going to get into about how to meditate. I'll give you some direction. If you have questions further about meditation, we can discuss that in the future. But I spend about 20 minutes meditating, and the reason why meditation is so important is because before I meditated, I'm pretty sure I never lived a moment in the present in my entire life. I either was in my head worrying about the past or fearing for the future. Even when I was with people I loved and happy and great things were going on, I was never really there. And it's the time when I learned that I'm more than that voice in my head. I'm more than all the crazy stuff it tells me all the time. It's where I am able to sit back in awareness and see what it's saying and detach from it and find my true soul and true spirit. So to me, it helps in every area of your life. The peace, the bliss, everything, the benefits to it are, I swear, there's no other medicine for anything that ails you than a great meditation practice. So for me, I like to do, Deepak Chopra has ones that he does these 21-day meditation things. He does them a lot of times for free, but you can also buy them. And those are my favorite. I love, love, love doing those. But also I use the Calm app or Insight Timer. Those are also really awesome apps to use if you need them. Otherwise, like, maybe you don't need an app. You can just go right into it, and that's fine. The Calm app is awesome if you're a beginner and you like that more guided meditation. And for me, I need like the silent ones. In the beginning, I did love the Calm app though. So if you're beginning, Calm app is great because they will guide you through your meditation. So meditation, pick a length of time. That's number 2 for me. And then after my meditation, because I'm already in this great state of presence and I'm just feeling lovely, that's when I do my visualization. And my visualization is usually based on whatever vision I have for that year. And actually, I'm going to show you my vision when we get to the journal setup portion. So it only takes me about 3 minutes. I just close my eyes and I see myself doing and living the incredible life that I've envisioned for myself. So I do that for a couple of minutes. I've got some great tips and tricks on that I'll have to share with you at another time about great ways to visualize and make it really real. And then I do my gratitude. So I can't stress enough how incredible gratitude is. Gratitude, the more you are grateful, the more gratitude you bring into your life, the more you will just see beauty spreading around you. Because again, everything starts in here and manifests itself out there. So the more that you can bring that awareness of the beauty and all the wonderful things you're grateful for, the more it is just going to shine to you in that outside world. So gratitude for me is huge. So, and when you're grateful, you're not afraid. You can't be when you're grateful. When you see just how incredible life is, everything is just brighter. Everything is more beautiful. So gratitude for me is I just spend about 2 minutes going over in my head and my mind and really feeling that gratitude, everything that I'm grateful for in my life. It's like a running list. And then I will write those things down. I will write down usually 5 things that I'm really grateful for. So next, after my gratitude, I do what's called an intention setting. So I set an intention for myself for the day. So I just want to talk about, sometimes it gets kind of confusing between what's a goal, what's an affirmation, and what's an intention. And I read once, the easiest way for me that I read to understand the difference between them was, so if you were going, say you decided to go on a hike with your family, and your goal for that hike was, I'm going to make it to the top of the mountain. So that's your goal. My goal is I'm going to make it to the top of the mountain. And you had an affirmation, and your affirmation was, I am strong enough to make it to the top. I am strong enough to make it to the top. I am strong enough to make it to the top. And so then your intention would be, may I be present on this journey and experience each moment as it comes and enjoy every bit with my family. So that's what I love about an intention, is it's actually a present moment thing. It's not about some goal you want to reach in the future or something that you want to pump yourself up to be. An intention is something that you're intending to do, that you're reminding yourself of, man, I don't want to just be lost in thought the whole time about when am I going to get to the top. I want to enjoy the journey up there. I want to laugh with my family. I want to see them smile. I want to notice the trees on the way up. I want to hear the birds. So an intention is really a way to decide what you want to happen that day. So for me, like a lot of times I'll set an intention for the day, like, may I radiate love to everyone that I meet. And that's my intention, you know, how can I make that come forth? That is what I intend to do today. So I always set an intention or two for the day. And then after that, I go ahead and I pick a tarot or oracle card. So I just grab my deck, and again, I'm already in this like really blissed out state. So, and I don't really ask anything. I don't have a question that I ask in the morning. Basically, I usually just say, universe, send me a message today. Give me the clarity and wisdom to see and understand your message. And I go ahead and I just pick a card. And I'll look at that card and I'll reflect on it, what it's trying to tell me. And then once I get a good feeling, I might look it up in my book to see what the book further has to say about its meaning and see how I can relate that to my life. So it's just my card for guidance. And then after that part, I journal. So I grab my notebook, and usually it's just like a scratch, messy notebook. So it often just looks like this, like messy pieces of paper. It's not my pretty journal that you see on my Instagram. It's totally all messy. I grab that, and this is where I just write down my inner thoughts or what I'm experiencing. Like, have I been really anxious lately? Was I anxious this morning? Was what happened in my meditation? What great things am I feeling inside? What struggles am I having? So it's really just a stream of like whatever my inner thoughts are at the time. I don't really think about it. I don't have any prompts. I just let it come out. Sometimes it's a sentence, sometimes it's 3 pages. So I don't have any rules for that. It's just a place for me to reflect on what's happening inside of me. And then I read 5 to 10 pages of a book. So again, maybe you can only read 1. That's cool. Maybe you can read 30. That's cool too. But for me, I usually generally read about 5 to 10 pages, and it's usually some kind of personal development book. So it could be a spiritual book, it could be like any kind of book. So like a self-help, whatever speaks to you. I generally don't do like a fiction kind of book. So whatever you're interested in, and mine range all the time. So I could be reading one on paganism one week, and the next week reading one from Tony Robbins. So it really just depends what speaks to me at the time. And then the last step that I do is I grab my planner and I write out everything I have to do that day. So what I want to accomplish for the day. And that's it. Then I'm done with that section. So again, this is where you want to kind of take things and build your routine. Maybe you have other things that you feel are necessary for you that you want to add in there that you think would benefit you. The list I gave you is what I found benefits me the most. Now, my husband also does one, and his is actually really different from mine. So the goal here is to find something that fits and works for you. And don't worry if you set something up and you find it doesn't work. It can change. Nothing is absolute here. That's the beauty. Let it flow. My practice has changed from the beginning. I didn't actually always do all of these things. And I can guarantee you 2 years from now or 6 months from now, it's probably going to evolve again and change. I might drop some things. I might add some things. I might just make adjustments to things. So stay open, be open. Again, remember, it's a practice. There isn't a destination. This is all about just continued growth within. So that's going to do it for this section. And so next what I want to do is I'm going to actually get out my journal, and we're going to go through how I set it up so that we can get to the heart of this, which is how I actually do my Magic Morning Journal process. Okay, so now we get to the meat of the video, which is the actual how you make the journal. So this journal is a compiled thing of everything we talked about previously in the video. So it is a place that I keep the meditations, the yoga, the gratitude, and all the stuff that I've been doing. Now, I do want to explain that I don't actually make this journal during my magic morning. I write it down while I'm doing my magic morning on a scrap journal. So just scribble it as fast as I can, and then later on is when I make these pages when I'm chilling out at night, watching TV or just relaxing. That's when I go ahead and I put together these pages. Again, it's just a beautiful reflection of everything that I experienced, and it chronicles my personal journey. So this is my story. So I'm going to go through with you the actual excuse me, setup for this. So how I set it up at the beginning of the year. So my first page is just the 2019 Magic Morning, and I just had a little quote that I loved there. And then it's my 2019 vision. And I talked about this during the visualization portion. This is pretty much what I visualize every day. And so what it is really is what I want to see happen that year. So what I do is I think about my year for 2019. I pretend it's the last day of 2019, and I'm meeting up with an old friend who I haven't seen in forever. Of course, this is all imaginary. And I'm telling her about my incredible year I just had. Oh, I'm in the best health of my life, and all these incredible things have happened, and this is what I did. And so I make it like that. I visualize what my amazing year was like, and that's what I visualize every morning, and that's what this is. It's my written vision of what I want to manifest for 2019. Then what I do is I have my supporting goals. So I have health and vitality, soul goals, career goals, lifestyle goals, relationship goals, and as you can see, I have them written down, I just haven't filled in these pages yet, but I've started some of them. So in my goals that I have are often a reflection of the vision. So there's the vision, and then these are the goals that support that vision, that will help me reach that vision. And then I just do little pictures to keep me motivated. And so this is what I look at and use during my visualization in the mornings. So there's that section, and I'm hoping to finish that up this week. And then in my journal, I just have my daily schedule. So here's my schedule, my magic morning schedule right here. And then I also have my quick morning schedule for those days when I just can't do it all. And then down here, I'm playing with doing an evening ritual for myself. And that's where that section is going to be. And then for each month, so obviously we're in the month of January, so for each month I do a page. And so this page will just be like a calendar, the goals I want to try to achieve that month, and usually they're very personal goals, inner workings goals, not necessarily like pay my bills and register my car kind of goals. So I'll also decide on what yoga I'm going to do for the month. A lot of times it's a program, so I'm doing the Dedicate program, the 30-day journey with Adrienne on YouTube. And then I'm doing the 21-day meditation, expanding your awareness. And I decided to work with one specific tarot deck for the whole month, because I have several, and some books that I'm going to read, the books I'll be reading that month. So this is just an overview of what I'm going to use as my tools for the month. And then we get to my pages. So the pages again are a reflection. So here's what I wrote the first morning. This is the thoughts that I had. Here's the tarot card that I picked. Here is the yoga program that I did, my meditation, and I'll often write down the mantra that was that day, my gratitude for the day. Now, you'll see that in this journal, it's very free-flowing for me. I don't keep one spread per page. I don't want to limit myself, because sometimes I have 10 pages to write and sometimes I have a half a page to write. Once in a while, like this one, it just so happened that it all fit nicely on one page. But typically that doesn't happen. It'll be like in the middle of a page where I'll start a new day. And that's totally cool with me, because like I said, this journal is a free flow process. I don't put limits on it. I feel like that stifles my creativity with this journal. And so once you have your components, what you want to write about, so like I know I want to write about tarot, I know I want to write my daily intention, I know I want to write my gratitude, I know I want to write about my yoga and my meditation and my tarot card. So when you know all that and you have your components beside you, that's when you're able to put it together. So this looks like it's just kind of stuff everywhere, but actually it's kind of really thought out, because I already know what's going to go into it. So I don't have this set up prior. It's just, this is the journal I love the most, because it is such a flow process. There's no like gridding it out and mapping it out. It's just a complete, beautiful flow. So that's how I do these pages. And in the future, I'm going to do some videos with my process, like showing me actually creating pages, to see if that helps you out and you can see where I get inspiration from. Each page kind of has a different theme. I don't necessarily plan it that way. I kind of just sit down that day and look for stuff that I really like and just kind of go around it. Other great things you can put in this journal though, quotes. A lot of times I'll put quotes. Hope lights my path. So that was something that day that really resonated with me, so you can put that in there. The number of stuff you can put in here is not limited. It's only limited to what you want to make it. You can put goals and manifestations in here, mantras, anything you want in here. Your dreams, if you like to chronicle your dreams, this would be a great place to put it too. So there's no limitation with this. This is just your journey of you, and you should really enjoy it. So that's pretty much how I do it. So from here, guys, what I'd love to hear from you is, do you have specific questions for me, either about the journal or about what we spoke about earlier? Do you have specific questions about meditation or visualization, or tips and tricks for doing your magic morning, you know? So I'd love to hear those. Put them in the comments below, and I will do a video and answer them. And like I said, I'm also going to do a video on how I create the pages, you know, so you can kind of see what I do when I'm creating and how I get inspired. But I would love to hear your questions and comments. They are so appreciated, and I really appreciate you being here. And if you liked this video and you found it helpful in any way, I urge you to subscribe to my channel and like the video. And much love to all of you for being here with me and sharing this with me. It truly means the world.